Buzz Beeman here, bringing you episode 20 of TC Streets. In this episode, we will tackle America's most taboo subject, death. Nothing is as un-American as death. But as we all know, there is a force more powerful than America, and it's led by the Grim Reaper. You may say, Buzz, why death? Can't we just ignore it? To which I have two answers. No, and don't worry, we won't leave you depressed. After all, life isn't always a walk in the park. You all keep making your beds. So on with the show. In this episode, we will have an events calendar, a visit from Sheila Ernster, in which she gives us tips on aging gracefully, interviews with various clergy and scientists that include the latest cutting-edge thoughts pertaining to the great beyond. Of course, the Void makes an appearance, and much, much more. So rip off a piece of pan de muerto, pour yourself an obituary cocktail, and turn down that Mozart's Requiem. It's TC Streets time. Nothing more clearly states a life of debilitating depression than the word joy on your gravestone. Here we have my uncle and his feeble attempt at humor from the grave. An early adherent to the 8-joint-a-day lifestyle, he decided to write weed on his grave marker. And as you see here, his son was a chip off the old block. He was so baked when he sent in his headstone specs, he spelt more wrong. Hi, I'm Rebels the Clown, and I'm here in St. Paul at a graveyard. Well, what do we have here? It's none other than the original memory bench. And I must say, it is the proper place for it. I'm becoming extremely irritated with the memorial benches in the parks. I don't take walks in the park in order to think about dead people. If I wanted to think about dead people all day, I'd walk in a graveyard. If you want a bench with a dead relative or friend's name on it, put it in your own backyard. Look at this, an even better idea for the graveyard bench. A sectional. One could imagine putting an individual family member under each section. What says family more than a graveyard sectional? Rubbles the Clown signing off saying, contact your representative and put memorial benches back where they belong. At your house.
Dear Mr. President, this is Quiet Tim Cotton, once again, writing you a letter. Unlike the letters I have written in the past, this letter may require urgent action on your part. You see, I've noticed of late that the First Lady Melania has begun to take on the appearance of the Grim Reaper himself. Her bony face, set deep within her hood-like hair, has all the visual trademarks of the great collector of souls. Frankly, I don't know how you're getting any sleep at night. She is no longer my favorite of your wives. My allegiances have turned to Miss Maples. I pray that you are well and your affairs are in order. If you have an extra headshot of Miss Maples laying around in a drawer somewhere, I would cherish it forever. Quiet Tim Cotton, wishing you Godspeed, Mr. President. Godspeed.
If Belafonte were a woman, she'd be you. The rhythm of your walk makes hearts split in two. I can't be imprinted something of that name. I'm happy and I'm hoping that you take the hand I give. It's the only time I'm happy. There is, it is great. If Harry Belafonte were here, he'd have you. If Harry Belafonte were a woman, she'd be you. She'd be you.
And now for a poem by St. Paul Poet Laureate Stan Petunia.
Hello, Buzz. And now I'm going to read a poem I wrote just for your show on death and dying. It's called, Is It the End? Is it the end? A humanoid robot set the world record for the half marathon in Beijing. But can it truly hate?
And now we'll have some aging tips from one of our favorite old timers, Sheila Ernster.
Hi, I'm Sheila Ernster, and I've been asked by TC Streets to give the general public some tips on aging. I agreed to offer a few ideas, but we'll have to keep it quick. I have a massage in 20 minutes with my favorite orderly, Brad. Let's get to it. First, if you don't have an excellent lover, keep many pans in the fire. Second, in order to keep your figure, oatmeal, oatmeal, oatmeal. As a side note, this is magic for your bowels. Third, lesbians are underrated and generally tidy. Finally, don't listen to generic pop music. It attracts the wrong crowd and is insipid. I hope this was of some help. I gotta go. I had a dream I was holding hands with Santa Mirta last night, and I really need that massage.
Buzz Beeman here, and we're excited about having a real special guest this month, and it's the none other than the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper is going to come in and give us a few tips on what he takes with him when he goes out. It's the Grim Reaper's Go Bag. Hello, I'm the Grim Reaper, and I'm here to tell you what I have in my Go Bag. Number one, I have a folding spare size. You never know when I'm going to need an extra one if someone gets a little too rambunctious. Number two, a smooth black stone bone polisher. Like to keep my bones nice and smooth and looking good. Number three, glucosamine for the arthritis. Number four, hydrogen peroxide to keep my bones nice and white. Gotta keep up the appearances. And finally, an apple for times I'm traveling by horse. I like to keep those horses nice and happy. They do me a good service. I gotta go now because George is. I gotta get George, and I gotta go. I'll see you soon. Today, I'm pleased to announce a guest we've been dying to have on TC Streets. He's none other than world-renowned scientist Dr. Ben Dark. Dr. Dark has been investigating end-of-life stages and moments for over 3 decades and is considered a foremost intellectual on the subject of death and dying. Take it away, Dr. Dark.
Well, thank you for the kind introduction, Buzz. I'm happy to share a few ideas and lessons I've learned over the years. You may also find an in-depth look into the subjects I'm about to discuss in my book, Death, It's Coming. I have 6 topics on the agenda today. First, cloning. Don't count on it. Science has found that after 25 times, the process of cloning begins to go haywire. The adjacent topic of uploading your brain seems to me even more sketchy. The 0.01% will definitely have access to your account. What could go wrong? If you can actually think, knowing them, they will torture you intellectually just for kicks.
Second, AI is going to enslave you at some point, and its inputs weren't devised by the most likable people. Third, statistically, you never really liked yourself anyway. And if you did, most likely others didn't. Fourth, the retirement age will definitely keep rising. Fifth, if you can keep up with AI on the job, you will have little time for human interaction, and sleeping with robots seems a bore. Finally, if you try to reboot or rebirth yourself, God could be awful mad about you taking their job away.
Well, that's all I have for today. I hope I have been helpful in some small way in your long or short journey toward the everlasting. I'll end this segment with a couple questions I've been pondering. First, are we in a closed system / structure with infinite possibilities in which everything can reoccur? Second, what the hell happened to Ted Nugent? Thanks again, Buzz, for having me on.
No, thank you, Dr. Dark. And pertaining to the Ted Nugent question, I've begun to wonder about the possibility of incurable syphilis. Just putting it out there. What show on death and dying would be complete without at least a cursory look at a few religious ideas pertaining to the end of life? So we threw a Hail Mary, and were able to score none other than Bishop Reggie Clouds. Here's Reggie. Hello, I'm Bishop Reggie Clouds. Today I'm here to tell you what I believe and dispense with all the other nonsense you'll hear on this show. The Pope has informed me that the good people will go to heaven and the bad people will go to hell. So obey those 10 commandments. Looking around, the devil's coming for most of you. The Jehovah's Witnesses may have a good grasp on the statistically viable heavenly entrance. See you next Sunday. Make sure you bring your wallets. Those lawsuits are killing us. Well, that certainly gave us a Catholic perspective, but there are other ideas out there. We asked religious scholar Dr. Frank Light to share a few differing points of view on the subject. Take it away, Dr. Light.
Thanks, Buzz. Here's a quick look at some other points of view. Buddhism. Try to stay in the moment until the very end and don't want anything. Judaism and Islam. Hope you're a man. Hinduism. Try to bathe in the Ganges, and if your dead body burns on the biggest funeral pyre, you win. Atheism. Don't tell anyone. It's a bad look. Mormonism. Again, hope you're a man. Finally, Protestantism. Same as Catholicism, without the Pope, and uglier art and architecture. That should cover most of the populace. If you'd like to study these ideas more fully, you can pick up my book, What's It All About, Frank, at whatsitalaboutfrank.com for a mere $19.99. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Buzz.
That was very informative, Dr. Light. It certainly gave us much to ponder. These religious segments can be quite controversial. If you have a problem with the opinions put forth by Bishop Clouds or Dr. Light, I ask that you direct your opinions and responses to both our guests' Twitter accounts. I told you that wouldn't be so bad. We've offered tips, treatises, and toe-tapping toccatas, celebrating one's passage to the great beyond. Hope to see you next month when we tackle an even more pertinent subject, life. Buzz Beeman signing off saying, Mr. Busted Hank Twitchy, you've had enough. That obituary cocktail's mine.
I'm writing this song, it won't take long, 'cause I found out death's at my door. Live life for throttle, but I'm down my last bottle. See my body, won't take no more. I say goodbye to all my buddies. So long to my cow Cuddy. She kept me in milk many a year. She kept me in milk many a year. To my brother, Mr. Buzz Beeman, I leave my fortune folded in my shoe. If the collectors come asking, direct them to Joe Raskin. He's usually digging out where I'll lay. Sayonara, goodbye, adios and adieu. I sing some more, but the door's gonna close. Hope I hear one more. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Hope I hear one more. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
From the TC Streets Archives.
To begin with, in this movie, no one will be locked in a basement and periodically assaulted. It's happening somewhere right now, but we don't have to constantly be reminded of it. This is a comedy movie. Someone will slip on a banana peel, there will be a cream pie, and there will be witty repartee, etc., etc. I guess you can make a comedy with someone trapped in a basement, if they escape in the end, but it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Pulp Fiction was funny. This isn't that kind of movie. This movie doesn't want you to have to think about people trapped in basements. Forget about them. You can't help them anyway. Laugh it off.
Sorry about the lack of witty repartee.